Right, so we're back in the veg garden, and I thought that I would just talk you through some of the plants that I've just bought. That is perennial. Now, I never really took much interest in perennial food before, but I've recently thought about it and I've thought, well, if it's perennial, you're not going to have to grow it every year. You're not going to have to buy seeds every year for it. So you haven't got the labour of sowing, planting and getting everything growing. And it just makes more money sense. Yes, you may have to pay out a little bit more in the outlay, but if you think of what you're going to be saving every year, not buying it, it makes perfect sense. So I've been to my local shop again, and I found this one. It's called Asterian tree cabbage. There you go, there's the label. And again, this is from a company called Dovey Plants. They are online. I'll pop a link in the description bar for you. But this is an edible cabbage and it's going to come back every year. And it means that I'm going to have cabbage in the garden every year without having to think about sowing the plant. So this one was £3.95. I think he's got a bit of a sale on at the moment if you want to have a look online. He does post them out to you, post them out within about 2 weeks. And yeah, you can have perennial food. So I've bought that one. Another one I bought was, if I can get it out without damaging it, a sea kale called White Lily. Hi, Stripe, which is this one here. And again, by the same company. And isn't that just a lovely plant? Look at that. This one was £3.75. And yeah, again, it means I'm going to have kale in the garden and I'm not going to have to plant it every year. So without fail, I'm going to have now cabbage and kale without even sowing it. So that's to go in the garden. I did get as well another cucumber because I stupidly went out for 2 days last week. I was out the house for 2 full days last week and I wasn't well on Thursday because of all the events on Wednesday, and because I had an allergic reaction on Wednesday. So my cucumbers fried in the polytunnel. I didn't have them in soil and I didn't have them in water and they've all gone. So I bought another cucumber and I bought it off him as well. This one's Market More and this one was £2.95. Now getting back to the perennials again, I bought Summer Purslane, this one, and this is also a perennial, and you can steam it, you can eat it in salads. So yeah, it looks like a nice plant to grow. So I'm going to grow this one along the side of the polytunnel and get it to spread. I may be able to get a few plants out of that because you'll be able to take cuttings from it, which is great to get more plants. So that's that one. Oh, and that one was £2.95. I also got another rhubarb. I'm in a rhubarb phase at the moment, and this one is Glass Skins Perpetual. There you go. And this was £3.75. So I'm pleased I got that. So that's going to go in with my rhubarb bed. Now I found this in Morrison's, and this is a strawberry pot of red flowering strawberry. Now look at the flowers on that, aren't they beautiful? Now the strawberries have gone out of control in my garden at the moment, so I'm going to have to spend the time in the autumn digging them all up by hand. But I'm going to start planting them in baskets around the place and maybe a specific bed and see if I can get them to grow that way. I've got lots of hanging frames around the garden, so I can hang them up from that. I just don't want them in the garden because they just spread like wildfire. So I thought I'd give these a try, but aren't they pretty? So I'm going to buy some more because these were only £3 in Morrison's. There you go, £3 in Morrison's. And it's a nice healthy plant as well. And it's got a runner on it. So I'm going to get a second plant. So that's that. And then the last, sorry, getting midged. The last one I bought was some sprouting broccoli, summer purple. And this one is harvestable between July and November. And that was £3 as well. And I love purple sprouting broccoli. So it gives me time to get my own seeds growing for the purple sprouting broccoli. Sorry, I'm just watching the dog. He's got the biggest stick he could find. And yeah, I'm going to have some purple sprouting broccoli in the summer now. Aren't they good plants as well? I think I got the best of the crop that were there. So yeah, in a minute we're going to take some time and we're going to sow them. I'm going to show you where I'm putting them. I've got my potatoes to finish putting in because I know I'm massively behind. It's the middle of June and I still haven't got all my potatoes in. But they are first earlies and second earlies, so I'm not too bothered. I've still got enough weeks left in the season to get to harvest of those potatoes. I've also got, what else have I got? I've got sweet corn to go in. I've still got tomatoes to go in. I've still got the rhubarb to plant. And I've got this little lot to plant out as well. So I'm just going to go and sort my husband out, get him a cup of tea, and then I'm going to come back out and we're going to get on with planting all these plants and I'll show you where I'm putting them. I've also got a new fence to show you as well, and it looks really nice. So I'll be back in a minute. Sid? Yeah? Yeah? Right, so I've cleared the border where the rhubarb's going, and I'm just going to get stuck into planting that. I'm going to throw a load of compost over the top because the soil's not very good. It's not been fed with anything for 6 years, so it definitely needs feeding. I've got a bit of rhubarb still in leaf over there, but everything else died back. So I pulled all the dead leaves off, and I'm going to put a bag of compost over the whole bed. I need to finish clearing this end for the colossal rhubarb, and I've cleared that patch there for my onions that I did from seed to go in. I know it's a bit late in the season, but they can still go in. Even if I get small onions, I can always use small onions in the kitchen through the winter. I need to weed that bed there. It's been that wet, it's been raining that much, I haven't been able to get out to do anything. So I'm going to try and get my potatoes in this bed today, and my broccoli in this bed here today as well, and that'll be a good job done. So there's not too much clearing in these two because the chickens have been in. So yeah, I'm going to get those broccoli plants in here. The perennial cabbage I'm going to put in at the side of the polytunnel down there, so I'll show you that in a minute, and I'll show you what I've been up to inside the polytunnel. Have you seen my Jerusalem artichokes? I thought I didn't get any. They've gone a bit bonkers. So I'm going to have a good crop of Jerusalem artichokes. But I've got sweet corn to go in as well. So I'm thinking of putting the sweet corn and the brassicas together in this bed here, and see how they get on together. But we shall see, we shall see. Right, time to get on with the rhubarb. All those annoying horse flies are around today. I've bitten loads. My own fault for moving the soil. Right, well this one is the rhubarb glass skins, which is what I've just bought today. So plant that there. And then I start planting the other ones that I got. Don't bury your label like I've just done. It's handy to have your labels and then you know what you've planted. Gosh, there's so many flies today. Because the weather's been terrible. Right, well I found some of these as well, so I'm going to put these in. These were on the surface of the soil. And I moved rhubarb last year and I moved it back again, so these must have been from that. So Come on, come in. I can't go too deep because it's slate. I had to send the dog in because he was getting carried away. The chickens are out. Okay. Now the colossal one, I'm going to prop at the end of the bed. I'm not going to prop it here. This one is Timperley early. I wonder whether I'll get two out of that. Get two out of that. And then we've got another little root. Put that there. Then I'm not sure what that one is. This one's the colossal. And then I've got these. I'll put one here. And then these two can go in the other part of the border. Oh gosh, I'm getting bitten. And we do have a rat back. Thankfully he's in the garage and he's not making too much of a nuisance of himself. Right, so that'll do that for the time being. I'm going to throw this down the other end. What I've also got is, oh, what's it called? Horseradish. There we go. All done. Right. I'm going to finish my fence now because the chickens are getting in and destroying my vegetables. So I need to keep them out. So if you're watching, Rebecca, I've come out in sympathy with you. So I'm going to put chicken wire around my borders to keep them out. Right, okay, so this is my new perennial veg herb border. I've got a cardoon just here. There's strawberries, there's sweet peas. I've got borage as well, just past the cardoon. And then I've got some, let me just move you. I've done some roses as well. Push you down. I've done some roses as well and some mustard. There's also fennel in here that's self-seeded itself, and I think I've got cosmos coming up as well. Because what I did was I just threw the soil down, the compost from the seeds that I'd sown that didn't grow, and I've just thrown it all in here. So I think it's all starting to grow. I've got a bit of bronze fennel that's coming back just there. And yeah, it seems to be doing really well. So what I'm going to do is I think I'm going to pop the sedum, the edible sedum in here. and see if I can get that to grow in amongst my edible vegetables. I know these are lovely, the foxgloves, but I think I'm going to take it out because it's just in the way. And I'd rather have edible flowers in here rather than that one. So I think that's going to come out today as well. But yeah, I was wondering whether to put the horseradish in here. So I'm thinking of putting that instead of in the rhubarb bed, which I don't really want to disturb the soil. And because I'll have to dig up the roots for this, I think this horseradish is going to go where that foxglove is. And then when I dig it up to harvest the roots, it won't disturb the rhubarb. So I think that's what I'm going to do. I've also got clematis growing on the fence, and I've got a passion fruit to go in as well. And I've also got perennial sweet peas as well, which I like because they come back every year and I don't have to worry about sowing the seeds. I've got them in Morrison's, £2 a plant. I've got a pink one. This one's a pink one. And I've got a white one just past this plant here. So yeah, there's quite a bit in this border, and this border then is going to carry on along the side of the polytunnel there, and I'm going to push all this fence over this way. Now I've claimed the land back from the field. So there's plenty to get on with. So that's what I'm going to do now. I'm going to take this foxglove out, and I'm going to get on with putting this horseradish in and that sedum. Better. Right, sweet peas need to be tied in a bit because they're getting a bit leggy. But these are great, as I say, they come back every year and give a nice bit of colour in the garden. They can be trained along the fence, and it just gives a bit of a screen to the polytunnel from the strong sunlight as well. That can so often just kill off your vegetables. Well, it does mine anyway. And I just find growing things like this alongside does really help with your crops. Well, it does for me anyway. Right, so that's them tied in. I've got quite a big space there now. Yes, they snap so easy, like that one. Right, I've got self-sown mustard growing in here. Which is great, not complaining. Right, so we can see what space we've got now. Right, I can see what space I've got now for doing my veg. So I'm going to get fennel everywhere. Lovely, bronze fennel. Right. So this is the Asterian cabbage. Oh, it's a tree cabbage, well that'll be nice. So I'll stick this here. We should stick it in the middle. I'll stick it here. Right on the edge of the border, why not? Oh, I've just dug out the cornflower. Too many things in the one space, that's what it is. I've got wormwood down here as well. I'm going to put this right here. on the end of the bed, and then it'll grow up the side. Yeah. Got salvias in here as well. It's just an everything bed. Don't forget to put your labels back. So that's my tree cabbage. This one is the lily white sea kale. And don't forget, these are perennial, so they're going to come back every year. So these will grow quite happily on the edge of the border because a sea kale doesn't get much water, much goodness, does it? So plant that there. And then I've got this sedum, which is summer Purslane. This one. I'm going to plant that next to this one thing. Plant that here. Soil's great here. I have to throw in all that compost on it. Here we go. Right, so that's them in. My perennial edible border's coming along quite nicely now. So I've got the sedum there. Just need to find somewhere for this horseradish. There's just doesn't seem anywhere for it to fit at the moment. Maybe I can pop it in a pot or a tub. I'll see. Because my tree cabbage is here. This is wormwood. This one is wormwood, and it is a herb. Don't know what to use it for. I believe you can't use it in big quantities. But yeah, I've got that. So I don't know, you know. Oh, this one here is Perpetual spinach, and you pick the leaves when they're young. They're tasty. Yeah, they're cosmos. And then along here, I've got borage, my other sweet pea, and that cardoon. So yeah, I don't think it's going to fit. We'll have to find somewhere else for it. And this beautiful comfrey. Maybe I could take that out. I'll see. I'll see. It's established now, isn't it? It's a beautiful day. Absolutely gorgeous. So yeah. There's my fence that I've been building to keep the chickens and the dog out. Just need to get it finished. I might get on with that now before I do any more planting so the chickens don't dig up my garden. But yeah, everything's looking really nice. I need to deadhead my roses to get them to flower again. But it's all looking rather nice and overgrown. I'm going to go and do the tea, and then I'm going to carry on with that fence, I think, and get that finished. And then that'll be that for today, I think. So I'll see you in the next video. Next Wednesday we are doing another top 10, and that's going to be recommendations for growing a wartime garden and my top 10 vegetables to grow in the garden, keeping up with the theme. And then if you've got time, then if you want to start a victory garden, you haven't already, You get yourself off to the garden centre, buy a few plants, and it's not cheating. Don't let anyone talk you down, say, oh, you should be doing everything from seed. I've bought loads of plants this year instead of doing things from seed because I just haven't had the time. So you've still got plenty of time to get plenty of things in the garden, and we'll go through that on Wednesday. So enjoy the rest of your week. Do hit that join button, the join link below, and have a look at my memberships. I've got plenty of things going on in memberships at the moment. And do click the subscribe button and the like button if you haven't already. So I'll see you in the next video on Wednesday, 8 o'clock. Enjoy the rest of your weekend and your week, and I'll see you soon. Take care. Bye for now. Bye bye.